Oh, that was good. Okay, first try too.
Wow.
We normally don't do that.
Well, that was the first time for us clapping.
Can you see us? Okay, great.
Insane, can you see us? Okay, let me tell you. I first and foremost have to tell to all of the townspeople, this is as good as it's gonna get. If you're watching, my apologies because I look awful. Busted.
And you looked totally normal, actually.
Thank you. I did try to look as decent as possible because I am very hungover today.
No, get into it. Why are you so hungover? What did you do last night?
Well, yesterday was
on a Sunday, no less.
On a Sunday, but Sunday's like my Saturday in a sense. You know, like I feel like Sundays are kind of like a me day. You know, like being such busy girls that we are with an upcoming show this coming. Well, by the time this comes out, the show would have already happened.
The show would already happened, and honestly,
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank God that we got through it.
Because it's been
a busy week.
Busy.
No, actually, it's been a busy. God, since like October.
Yeah, it's been the race to the finish of the year. But I guess if you're listening this and you didn't come to that show, if you want to see me and not this ugly slut named Nick,
well, you'll see me in the audience.
You'll see me in the front row, famously. Come to Unpopular Opinions at Caveat at 9:30 in the Lower East Side. Get your tickets, please. It's gonna be so much fun. But anyway, I ended up like I came. I don't how do you say this? I met up with a good friend Matt, who's adult. He's like the big brother I never had. And I went over and met him at this restaurant called Clay in Harlem. Had like a Harlem night because we were both kind of like in the same vicinity. Like he lives, I guess, in Harlem proper, but I'm up here in Hamilton Heights. Again, for anyone who wants to stalk me.
Find her on the grid, do that little explore.
And so went there, cute little place. It seems like it's been there for a little bit, like a year or two or something, but it was really cute. And we sat at the bar, and then we were supposed to have like a chill. This always begins this way, like have a chill night, just go grab dinner, catch up before he goes to Portugal, because he's off to Portugal in a week.
For how long?
For like, I think he's gonna vacay, like family vacay. So it's good.
When does he leave for Portugal?
He leaves after. So he would have, if you're listening to this, he came to the show.
Oh, so he's coming.
And supported.
Oh, okay, good. I was just about to say, shady of him to leave right before the show.
No, he's coming to the show.
No. So, Matt, you get a pass now.
Matt, you enjoy Portugal.
No,
Portugal.
We forgive, and we certainly forget.
Yeah. But every time, you know, like and with you, it's kind of different when we hang out. Like, well, I guess first of all, hi, I'm Pioneer Peru.
I'm Trailblazer Nick, and this is Pioneers and Trailblazers,
the Hangover Edition.
For one of us.
I'm actually you're like fired up.
No, I actually compared to last week, this is a huge improvement.
Huge improvement that may not be.
No, I'm gonna cut this because it gives any indication, and unfortunately, we have to protect my public image.
Wow, you're a fake bitch.
I really am. You know, actually, we'll keep that. Yeah. You say to me I'm a fake bitch, and that's true. This.
You're a fake bitch because we did just cut something, and that's all I'm gonna say.
And that's all I'm gonna say. And I'm gonna say that's true. I am a fake bitch.
Okay, great, perfect.
Thank you, and I recognize that.
And you know, eventually, when the Patreon does drop, listeners, please put this in your notes app. The episode in which there was a mysterious cut and we discussed something. The townspeople who support us and will pay for our content eventually, they're gonna get to know. They're gonna know.
Right. Unfortunately, that audio and video will fully be deleted off of everything because I don't have enough storage space to keep it around.
Well, no, you know what? Audio never gets deleted. The audio in my head.
Right, and unfortunately, there's no way to prove that.
Well, who knows? Who knows?
Try to use that in a court of law, bitch. Let's see that hold up.
Audio in my head.
Let's see, Your Honor. Let's see if the judge accepts that. I think not. Guilty.
Anyway, so Nick's is riled up today, so good for you.
No, and actually, after the weekend I had, it's honestly a really nice improvement.
It's great.
I'll get into it later, but I literally cried the whole weekend.
Love. Yeah, we'll get to that. But anyway, love your tears. But anyway, so what was supposed to be just like a chill dinner because he had a photo shoot today for something, and then like I'm trying to not go crazy. As you know, famously I've been kind of dieting last week. I have a photo shoot coming up, and soon.
Want to
look trim and snatched. Well, yesterday was not the case. Like we ended up going to this other place called Lido in Harlem, in which we know some people too. Went there, of course. Oh, by the way, you know what happened? I don't know if you know how this happens, but sometimes you're just like having dinner with your friend, and then the check drops, and then you're like, oh, I had no idea that this was gonna cost me this much.
Every time I go out to eat, Mama.
But this one was like, you know, it was a cute place. I knew I was gonna go and not be.
Did you not read the prices when you were ordering?
Well, the thing is, one of those menus that doesn't have the prices on them except on the food.
Oh, and that is an assault on poor people.
Well, listen, the bill was like $350
for 2 people.
Yes.
What did you order?
We each had like 3 martinis. We had like
the drinks were
the
really
drinks alone will do it.
Yeah,
and a glass of wine.
I don't feel bad for you anymore.
No,
you did it yourself.
Which, by the way, again, this is not me saying I'm rich. This is me saying that when we got the check, we were like, okay, well, I
guess we're putting that on credit.
I guess, which I don't have famously. So you know, I
guess I'm just gonna pedal in the street.
Yes, I guess I'm just gonna do some sex work, which I almost did, but
that is a very value job.
Of course, yeah. That wasn't a joke. That was me saying
that
like
was being 100% serious.
Yeah. So whoever wants to like sex work me, slide the DMs.
Honestly, I've been thinking about that too. Honestly, I've been watching.
I recently got a video back from like a soiree of an adult soiree I had with 2 daddies. Remember? I got the footage, honey. Oh,
is it good?
Oh, it's OnlyFans good.
Like, do you see full face in it?
Of course, yeah. I can show you.
No, because I was gonna be like, oh, I want to see.
No, but no, literally, you would see every part of me.
I know, but I feel like we will get to a place eventually where like
I'm gonna watch your sex tape. No, Nick.
You don't think so?
I think the closest I'll ever get to watching anything X-rated of you is like if you were ever to change in my presence and like I saw you naked.
No, but like if I had a video in which I got fucked or whatever and the dude was really hot and I'd just be like, you wouldn't want to, I wouldn't do this now, but I saw something on Twitter recently that like made me think. I was like, oh, I wonder, because I do have some friends that I am like close enough with where like I would show them my sex tape.
Really?
Yeah, most of them are girlies. They're like the girlies, but
I don't know. I feel like I'm much the idea of just strangers consuming like sex work of mine is a lot easier for me to digest than like a close friend of mine watching me.
I would show you my sex tape. I would show you the video that I have of myself.
Like the only caveat in which that would make sense for me, caveat November 18th, get your tickets.
Business woman marketing.
The only caveat in which that would be the case is like if I did were to like have an OnlyFans or something, and like I wouldn't feel weird if you saw it. Like if anything, like if you had an OnlyFans, I would subscribe to support you because I would support my friend, and I would definitely subscribe for that 1 month. Like, you know, like that
the free trial,
like to
get to the top 10%.
Like that former coworker that we had who's now fully on sex work. Remember?
No, which one?
You know, one of our old managers.
Oh, wait. Is it? Wait, okay, yeah.
And you know,
I didn't know that was a full pivot to sex work.
Do you want to check it out?
Oh, 100. Okay. I do want to see after. I will see. But I do just want to say
he was not lying when he said that he had a huge dong. That thing is big.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for Portuguese sausage. All right.
Good for him. No,
and that is not. I'm not trying. That's not a racist statement. Like he is Portuguese.
Okay, great. No, I was just gonna say this is actually so.
So you're not gonna cut that, but we did cut that mysterious thing we cut earlier in this episode.
Yeah. And I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna stick to my guns on that one.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna say it's really interesting because, like, upon first thought, you would think that you would be the one being like, yeah, I want to watch your sex tape. I want everyone see my sex tape, and I would be the one that'd be like, oh no, that's like really private and personal. Yeah. But like the roles are reversed. Like I'd be like, I'd show it to you. Like I have like a video of myself speaking of the guy who fucked me in that video. Today messaged me and was like, hey, how are you? He's like, I'm back now full time in the city until December. Want to fuck again?
Oh my god.
And I was like, yeah. He is the one that may or may not have almost given me multiple STIs before.
Which is my big town hall today. But okay, let me just finish about the night and why I feel this way. Is that we ended up going to this other place, a restaurant where we knew the bartender did not charge us for any of the wine that we consumed. And then we were pretty drunk at this point already. Mm-hmm. And then by that, we're like, okay, let's just wait for him to get off work so then we can all go to the bar right next door called Big C for anyone who's in the Harlem area. Great, cute little bar. But by that point, Mama, we were doing vodka sodas. We're like, what is happening? We did not have any intention on going that hard. And then I met this guy who they all knew, and I was making out with him. Like,
you made out?
So cute. Yeah, let me show you. He's tall, gorge. Wait, let's see. Because I did obviously slide in the DM after, and I was like,
"Are you gonna go? Did you ask on a date, or is this just like?"
He hasn't responded.
But what's new though?
But he's so cute.
Oh, you're kidding. Yeah, no, he is.
He's tall.
For the listeners, just know that this is a very attractive person.
Very attractive person. Oh, yeah. And it was funny because the connection kind of just happened. Like, we were introduced and he was there and I was there, and then literally was one of those things where like we were talking at one second and the next we're making out. Great lips, great kisser. As one loves.
No, we love, that's like a song title. It's like a pop song title. Like Dua Lipa would release something like that.
Yes. Who's Houdini?
Produced by Tame Impala.
Oh my god,
it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good, girl.
I'm real excited.
And at any rate, I ended up taking an Uber home, got drunk snacks, which I have hidden from you because my room was a huge mess when I woke up today. And I had like an important meeting tomorrow, so I was like, Nick was like, hey, do you want to get some Ritas? Do you want to like, and I was like, it would be a disservice to my physical condition to consume any alcohol today.
No, and I think that's for the best. And I'm glad that you're listening to your body. So cheers to that.
Cheers to ginger ale.
Cheers.
So while I was doing that, dying, catching up on some reality television, what have you been up to?
God, okay, where do I begin? I guess this is the start of the town hall.
Yeah, that's good to you because then
I have a lot,
and I'll come back to my story.
So where do I begin?
My development. Alex, you're coming up again. Alex has become a mainstay on this podcast.
No, she's a main character.
So you're a main character.
And we love her because she comments on everything too, and like no. So it all starts on Halloween, Tuesday, and I'm horny as fuck. I'm like at work and I dress up as a train conductor. I wear like a pair of Dickies overalls and like a red shirt and then like a baseball cap.
Yeah, if you follow Nick on Insta, he did post the photo.
I did post a photo. If you follow me on Twitter, I made the joke, wait, if I'm running the train, who's running the train on me? And I got a lot of love. I got a lot of love online.
I don't follow you on X.
No, that's okay. That's fine. Up and coming. It's a little up and coming app. I don't know if you've heard of her. But then so I was so horny. I was tapping every like daddy that I saw on there because I really wanted to like at least suck a dick that night. I don't know what it is about Halloween, but it just makes me really horny. And so sure enough, this guy responds and he's super hot. He's like this DL daddy who's visiting from out of town, and he's staying at a hotel, and he's like, you want to come over, I can smoke you out, whatever, and then we can like have a good time. And I said sure. He was very like mask, and I was like hoping, I was like, oh god, I hope he doesn't like expect me to also be super masked, because then what happened was on the way
cut to your mask fishing photos.
No, well, because so a friend from work, he lives not too far from the restaurant that we work at, and so he was like, oh, do you want to walk with me to like my neighborhood, and then you can just get on the train over there? And I was like, sure. So then we like caught up, whatever, and we're chatting on the way to drop him off to his apartment for me to get on the train. Just so happened to be same neighborhood in which Halloween parade is going.
Parade, yeah.
So then I am like, fuck, and then they let a bunch of people cross the street to get to the other side where the entrance to the train is, because they had the barricades up and everything, and they're like, if you need to go now because it's closing. And we're like, okay, great. Cross the street, they close the barricade, but then they have like the train station entrance like barricaded, or like there was like too many people around where you couldn't get through. And so then they're like, you can't come through here. And I was like, well, where the fuck am I gonna go? So then I was trying to find, I couldn't cross this back across the street to like go back to Fort or wherever to like try to find the train to get back downtown. And so then I to back to where I came from. So then I was like, fuck. So then I had to go all the way up to Union Square. And as I'm walking past Washington Square Park, I hear a little, excuse me. And I didn't realize that this person was talking to me. I'm high as fuck, by the way. I popped an edible before I left. Like I timed it out so it hit me like as I'm leaving, because this man was like, oh, my edible's hitting. Like, I'm so high, babe. I can't wait to like fuck the shit out of you. And I'm like, yeah, daddy. Yeah, me too. I took an edible. My whole soul loose right now.
Don't you hate it? Like whenever like you're actively talking to somebody on the apps, like you're being like your like dirty self, you know, your like slut self on the phone.
Yeah, every day.
Meanwhile, you like walk and like literally in my ears is like the cutest K-pop ever, and it's just like I'm just looking like this like little lost boy around the streets. Literally, I'm like, yeah, I can't wait for you to fill my hole.
100%. And so I'm high out of my mind, and then whatever, and all of a sudden I hear, excuse me, and then they run in front of me and they like stop me and they're like, oh my god, can I get a picture? Thought they were gooped and gagged by my costume. I was like, oh my god, like, I mean, I guess, like, sure.
I am the train conductor.
I am a train conductor. And so then we took a selfie together, and then they were like, I'm a big fan of your TikTok and I love the podcast. Like, I listen every week. And I was like, and then I stopped and I was gooped and gagged. And then I was like, oh my god, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. So if you're listening, we love you.
Oh my god.
So sorry that I didn't get your name. I was like really high. And so, and again, I was like on a mission. I was like ready to go get some dick. So just know that was what I was happening.
Yeah, so right now you're actually part of the story.
Yeah, you're a part of the story, actually. You're a character.
You're a character. Yeah, comment on this. Let us know who you are.
Comment on the YouTube, comment on the Spotify, comment wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah. And so then anyway, I get on the train, get to the hotel. He's standing outside. He's smoking his joint. He's like in his little sweats and a little coat, and he's so fucking hot.
Did you show me him?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh, but I forgot.
But I forgot. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm back on track.
Yeah.
Back on track.
But on my walk to the train, I forgot to tell you this. He calls me because he asked me for my phone number, which I love to get beforehand because he hadn't given it to me before. But I was like,
again, wild that you do that.
So he gives me his phone number and he's like, oh, as I'm walking towards the train, he's like texting me. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna call you. I just want to hear your voice.
Oh, that's.
And I was like, no.
Like, he's about to dump my.
I was like, so he answers the phone and he like. You could tell that he was.
You didn't tell me that part.
No, I forgot. And he like was putting on this voice where he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I was like, "Good." Like I just like at that point I was like, "There's no use in hiding." Like he's gonna hear my.
You're about to see me.
Yeah, you're about to see me and whatever. And he's like, and whatever. So he, girl.
Sorry, I'm not well.
Keep it together, Jesus. So then he was like, oh, do you like my voice? Do you like the sound of my voice? And
he said that while on the phone with you?
Yes, and I was like,
and you're like, sure.
And I was like, yeah, daddy, it's really sexy. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. And so then he's like, okay, cool, I'll see you soon. I was like, great. So then I get there, and then when I get there, he's much more normal. Like, I think he was just like trying to like, I think he was nervous and also like wanted me to still come over and get fucked. And so I don't know what his mindset was. But then I get there, he's smoking his joint outside. As soon as I get there, he's like, wait, I don't even want to like stay outside and smoke. I just want to go upstairs. Like the vibes were so strong. Like as soon as I got there, the sexual tension was like so strong, and like we were wanting to get at each other. But because he's DL, we couldn't like, we had to like wait until, you know, do any sort of like touching and stuff because he was like, no, not here. And so then we get into the elevator. We're in an elevator with someone. The elevator goes up. We're like making small talk. The person gets off at one of the lower floors, and then we're still going up, and then the doors close, and so I'm like, okay, we're just gonna start hooking up we're starting making out in the elevator. So I start going towards him to like grab his face and be like, let's get to it, daddy. And he was like, wait till we get to the room. And then I was like, fine, whatever. But as soon as we get in the room, oh, mama, hot and heavy, we are going at it. I had prefaced saying that I needed to take a shower because I just come from work, and he's like, great, I want to wash you. He's like, I want to bathe, like I want to wash you in the shower. And I said, great. He literally like rubbed me down with soap, like
baby play.
Oh, but like it wasn't like a baby. It was just like he was just like really, it was really sensual, and he was just like soap me up, and then I would like soap him up, and then we were like
soap me up.
We were like sucking dick in the shower. He was eating my ass in the shower, like, and I'm very flexible. I do yoga like almost every day, and so like
Nick, since when?
What?
This is news to me. You do yoga every day. Like I've never once heard you say you do yoga.
No, my stretch routine, that's like 45 minutes. Remember you made fun of me?
You know what? I'm going to put a pause on this because it's time for the listeners to know something that Nick claims. Nick goes to the gym. And
I do a yoga routine to stretch beforehand.
But the thing is, like, it's funny that, like, no one stretches for that long.
I do.
It shouldn't take that long, Nick.
But I stretch out my entire body. Like I stretch out my.
I understand, but and
I have a whole routine that I do, and like it brings me a lot of peace and joy and calm and serenity. I love that
for you, but it is funny the way you phrased it when you told us, because you were like, yeah, I'm gonna go work out, and then we were just talking about workout routines, and suddenly the information was dropped that you stretch for like 45 minutes before your workout, which is wild.
Y'all were laughing then, but we'll see who's laughing when we're 85 years old and I still have full hip mobility.
Honey, you should watch me at Soul Cycle Mama. I am flexible and I have endurance.
Well, we'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
But anyway, so we're in the shower and I'm like bending over, like
you're doing all your moves.
I'm doing tricks in there, and he's like, fuck, baby, that's so hot.
Havasana in my asana.
Oh, that was okay. You're working with something with that one.
Yes, potential tournament. Havasana in my asana.
So then anyway, we move from the shower into the bed, and then he is a top, and so he's like really
obviously,
yeah. So he was like, well, no, he told me he's like I bottom. He's like, but right now I'm like really in a top phase. He's like, I really love topping, and I said great. And so then he was like, oh, I like want to eat your ass for a really long time. I said great. So he goes down there and he's like, I like to just spend my time with a hole and just like really get to know it, like figure out like what makes it tick. And I said cool, do what you need to do. So he's down there for a while. He's fingering me, eating me out, like doing the whole 9 yards. It feels fucking amazing. And then he was like, oh, you know what kind of hole you have? And I was like, what? And he was like, a unicorn hole. And then I was like, what does that mean? And then he was like, it just means that you're sensitive all around. He's like, so you really like, you're built to bottom. And I was like, he's like, did you know that? Like, you don't top, do you? And I was like, I've topped once in my life. And he goes, yeah, that makes so much sense. He's like, because your hole is so sensitive. And then when he was fucking,
for so many reasons.
No, and then when he was fucking me, I like, when I get fucked, I'm usually soft unless I'm getting jerked off. And so he was like, see, he's like, you're more turned on by your hole than your dick. And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
And so he
gave a cool dissertation.
Oh no, he literally educated me on my body. It was like actually kind of crazy. And then he was really kind of like he was like talking me through it because he was like really thick. And so when he was like putting it in, I was like, we didn't use poppers, and so like we just had like lube and like spit and a prayer. And
how often do you do poppers?
Depends. If it's
I'm putting I would say like 90% of the time.
I would say like maybe like 60% of the time I'll use poppers because like I don't like to use them. Well, I won't use them if like the person is like, oh no, I don't like them, because then I'm like, okay, well now there's already like a weird energy where you're like, I don't like poppers, and I'm like, I don't want to. I kind of like bring them out, and then like whatever I'll suggest, I'll be like, oh, I have poppers if you're interested, and they're like, and usually it's like, oh, I don't need them, but like if you want them, go ahead, and then it's like, okay, and then sometimes I'm like, well, if you're not gonna do them, at least let's just try and see if I can do it without them.
Yeah. What's your favorite brand?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I guess like I like the Super Rush, which is like a little bit more intense than the regular Rush.
There's a Super Rush?
There's a Super Rush, mama.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they only sell it in like the bigger bottles.
Which I've been enjoying getting more now. I used to just get the smaller bottles.
Oh no, I like
the big bottle. I'm a big Blue Boy fan.
Well, I won that big bottle of Blue Boy at the Halloween party.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and so I have that. So that's what I've been taking around because I've been out of. I also haven't been using poppers. I've been out of them for so long.
Yeah.
And I just
Blue Boy is good.
It's
a different kind of like intensity.
Yeah, it
feels more sensual for me. Jungle Juice sometimes feels like a bit too like let's get the job done, whereas Blue Boy to me feels it makes it I don't know, there's a more sensual element to it. And then oh my god, and then Rush was everywhere when Troy like brought back
I do like
Rush.
the new Amsterdam ones too. Those are good. The purple bottle.
But you haven't done Double Scorpio? That's like the fancy poppers.
Oh no!
And I like that. It's like a longer boutique. It's like a longer sustained, but not like it starts here in kind of like a roller coaster. It kind of just starts like fading, but still kind of like exciting. You know, It's like a longer fade out.
Okay.
But sometimes I'm just like I really don't feel like spending $27 on poppers.
Yeah, that's too much. And that's why I'm glad I got my bottle for free. So I had to pay. But so anyway, so we didn't use poppers because he was like, oh, I'm not like because we smoked. So like we smoked his weed or whatever, and he's like, honestly, like poppers like mess with like my like high from smoking weed. He's like, I honestly just enjoy it more when I'm just like regularly high. And I was like, great. So then we had sex. Oh my god, my hole was so gaping. It was like so ready to like get fucked.
He did the job.
And
he knew what he needed to do.
Oh, the sex was so good. We were like fucking in like so many different positions.
All yoga positions.
Oh my god, it was really great. And the whole time he just kept being like, I've never been like this comfortable with someone from like a random hookup before. Like just how easy it's been.
Okay, rom-com, relax.
No, literally. He's like, oh my god, like I've never like been this comfortable before, like with a person. He's like, that's kind of crazy. And I was like,
DL stands for down for love.
Yeah, no, truly. And then we were talking and we were in bed or whatever, and then we like had taken a break and stuff, and he was like asking me what I do, and I was like explaining that.
Oh, I hate this part.
No, well, so before that preface, he was telling me what he was doing with his night, and he has adult children that are unfortunately around my age.
Around your age.
And then he was like, do you think that's hot? And I was like, honestly, kind of. I was like, wait, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's
and
like
he was like, yeah,
mistress,
you like that.
You know, you could like be packing their lunches.
No, 100%. I was like, I'm going to be his child's stepmom.
I'm going to be going to the graduation ceremony.
I was like, I'm so excited.
Congrats, Jonah.
Showed me a picture of them. I was like, they're so, oh my god, they look just like you. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, okay, alert.
I was like, I know. I was like, wait, oh my god. So then we were in his bed or in the hotel bed, and then we were whatever, and he was like, oh, he was telling me that he loves TikTok. He was like, I just got into TikTok recently, like I love it,
girl.
And I was like, oh, cool. And he was like, do you use TikTok? And I was like, actually, like I make TikToks. And he's like, wait, what's your TikTok? And so I was like, oh my god, here we go. So I pull it up. I think he was just gonna look at my profile and be like, oh, that's cool, like you have a lot of followers. And then he looked at the profile and he's like, oh my god. He's like, you do have a TikTok. And I was like, yeah. And then proceeds in front of me to just start scrolling through every one of my videos and watching them.
I would have died.
And I was like, we don't have to do that. And he's like, oh no, I just want to get like a sense of you. He's like, oh, before I got there, he was like, oh, I looked at your Instagram before you came over. He's like, I get your vibe. I can roll with it. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? But I was like, sure. And so then I was like, okay. There was like one point where I just had to like grab the phone and be like, okay, let's put it away. And then we fucked some more. And then he was like, do you want to come back tomorrow night? And I was like, Yeah, I would love. And so then Wednesday evening, sure enough, I rush out of work as soon as I can.
I have never seen you so ready to leave.
I was ready to.
You were actually panicking. You were like, I simply have to go. I was like, you need to take a breath.
No, I was like, I have plans, and I told this man that I would be there at this time, and we are getting very close to that.
Typically Nick stays a little longer because like typically like I work on the floor, and then I come down to like where Nick is like situated to like write my report. And I also go down there to eat my dinner,
which we sometimes share.
And oh yeah, Nick will every single time ask me like, "Are you gonna order your food? What are you gonna get?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm trying to be healthy. Like maybe we'll do a tuna crudo, maybe we'll do something." And he's like, "How about you get chicken fries? You want to get chicken fries? What get chicken fries?" And you always get me to get fries for you.
Right, because I love fries.
You love fries.
Yeah, girl, I'm from the Midwest, babe.
You will stick around for like an additional 35 minutes to 40 minutes just so you can sit down with me and have some fries.
So then that way I don't
really
have to
cute.
Well, because I love you, and then also broke and can't afford food. So that's good. That's
I love being able to sustain you, give you your nutrition.
In my Oscar speech, I'm gonna be like, "Thank you so much for Peru, Flores, because you fed me when literally no one else could, and I couldn't afford to do it myself. Thank you. You're a real
emotionally
sister."
And nutritiously.
Yeah.
But that's all to say, Nick has never wanted to leave that quick.
No,
I was
so
like,
fast.
I'm gonna get chicken and fries. He's like, I don't fucking care.
No, I'm like, I'm gonna get fucked. I gotta go. So I get there. He didn't even meet me outside. He's like, just come to the elevator. So I go to the elevators, and then he like comes down and like brings me up. And so then I wasn't allowed to text his phone number. He was like, only message me on Grindr because I have his phone number. And he's like, only text me if I text you first. And I was like, what is this? I was like, okay. And then also he like swore me to secrecy after the first night we had sex. He like, because he saw the TikTok and he's like, oh, like you can't talk about me. You can't talk to me on your podcast. But then he also was like, Peru's hot, I'd fuck him. He's like, you should let him know. He's like a dream of mine would be a three-way between the three of us. And I was like, I don't know if he would ever be comfortable doing that, and I don't know if I would ever be comfortable doing that.
We're just talking about that scene, Nick. Okay, first and foremost, let me tell you,
I could do it. I could do it.
The Grindr, Nick, like it really is. People are listening to this, which is really cool. Like it's again, I appreciate y'all. But it is wild to just like get a Grindr message and be like, ha ha ha, like one of your TikToks just popped up on my feed, and I was like,
you better
okay,
get used to it, bitch.
No, it's fine.
I've been dealing with that for years.
Well, I mean, it's fine. And listen, I have different kinds of fame from all of my other endeavors,
right?
But this one's like hyper sexualized.
Sure.
So like I can literally be like sharing an album full of like my hole, and then the next response can be like, LOL, your TikTok just popped up on my feed, and I'm like, okay. And
so
why are you gonna breed me?
Yeah, send me your album.
Send me your album.
So he's 160 or whatever, blah blah blah. The next day. And then the next day, so I get up. He meets me in the elevator. We go up again. We are fucking.
He's like, "Where's Peru?"
No, he's like, "Did you tell Peru? Did you like tell him that I like about me or whatever?" And I was like, "I did." And he's like, "Did you tell him about like what I said?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mentioned it."
Would you do that, Nick?
A three-way with you?
Be honest with yourself.
It depends. I'd probably have to be really really drunk. I would have to be.
Here's how I see this.
I have to be drunk on drugs, but also I would never be able to. I wouldn't touch you, and I wouldn't want to like.
I wouldn't be able to make if I made eye contact with you during any.
We hold hands. Well, because he told me. He told me. No. I'm telling you right now. He told me verbatim that he wanted his dream if he were to have a three-way with us.
Okay, now you loosely said he mentioned it. You full on had a conversation.
Well, no, he told me about it. He was like,
wow.
He was like,
truth comes out.
He's like, perfect world. It'd be both of you ass up on the bed like this, so I could go back and forth between both asses, and then I can just fuck them from right behind. And I was like, okay, that could work, because then that way we wouldn't have to look at each other.
He's like eating us out, and we're like, oh my god. So like, what are you doing tomorrow?
No. We get our microphones. We record the podcast in the middle of it.
Like I got that Pioneer Peru.
I'm Joe Wizard Nick, and this is we're getting our ass eaten. No, and so then I was like,
I don't think I could.
I don't know if I could either. I love you, but not like that.
No, but if
I'd show you my sex tape, but not have sex with you.
I think that would even be easier to digest privately. Like if you were to send it to me, like I couldn't watch it with you in the room.
Really?
No.
Okay.
And I feel like maybe like if it was like a group setting, like one time we talked about like going to like this guy's house where they were having like a group party. I would be okay if we both went together to like a sex party, or like, you know, so some clubs you have like a sex night or whatever. There's like
we just
so many things.
Yeah, we just weren't interacting.
Eagle or whatever. Yeah, I would be fine with you to do something on your own and me doing something on my own.
Should we go to the Eagle after the show on Friday? I'm kidding, but like.
It could be fun.
It could be fun, but it's all the way back.
But you've never been to the Eagle.
I've never been to the Eagle, and then we'd have to go all the way from Williamsburg.
You haven't been to the Cock either.
The Cock scares me. But anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, no, but that.
Oh, but anyway, so then.
Yeah, I think I would be fine with us going together to do something individually. I don't think I could be in the same bed as you.
Right. Yeah, that's like too much. But so I was like, oh, haha, like I did mention. He's like, oh, haha, like we were just kind of joking about it. And then we went and showered again. And we showered at each other, or like watched each other. And then we smoked in the hotel room, which I'm a goody two shoes. Like I always get like nervous about getting in trouble for like doing the wrong thing. Like that's why I have never stolen from like a store or like. Well, actually, that's not true. I have, but like I have just like such a fear of authority and like getting in trouble. Like that's a huge thing for me. And so we were in this man's hotel room and we're in the bathroom and the door's closed. And so like whatever. But all of a sudden he lights the joint and just starts smoking it in the bathroom. And the smell of weed is so pungent and strong. Mm-hmm. And I used to be an RA. Okay. So like I know, like I just have like my fight or flight comes in where like I just thought someone was going to start knocking on the door, be like, yeah, we smell weed, open up. Man, dude, this is a hotel. Like, it's a random hotel in downtown New York. And so I all of a sudden, like, it stressed me out. So then I, like, took me out of the sexual experience. And then I was like, oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. And he's DL. And then we're going to get caught in here naked together. And he's going to get thrown out. What is he going to tell his kids?
It's going to be on page 6.
What is he going to tell his children? And so then, but whatever. And then we, like, finished fucking and then, or, like, finished up in the bathroom. And we went to the bed and we were fucking some more. And then he sucked my dick, which he didn't do the first night. And he was really good at it. And he was like, he apologized. He was like, I'm really sorry I didn't, like, give you your dick enough attention last night. And he was like, I was just so, like, excited for your hole. And I was like, oh my God, no, please. Went down on me for the longest time. It felt so good. And then we fucked more. And then we finished fucking. And then he was like, I come back to the city quite often for work. So like the next time I'm in town, do you like want to be my personal fuck toy? Like whenever I'm in New York. And I was like, yeah, daddy, I do want it. And then he literally messaged me as soon as he landed in LA being like, thinking of your hole. And I was like, yeah. Love. So yeah, so it's great. And then he told me, told me I could talk about him on the podcast. I just need to tell him when so he can listen. So hey,
hi if you're watching.
Yeah. Hi daddy.
Hope the kids are all right. And
our future children.
And you know, as you have already heard, we've talked it out.
We talked it out. All good. No. Yeah, there's no personal information.
No judgment. No judgment. I don't think any of us would be down to do it together. But would you be opposed to him fucking me separately?
I don't know. I'm now like, look, when he did bring you up, I was like, why talk about him? Let's focus on me. I'm like, I'm here with you right now.
watch me be like, okay, I gotta tell you something.
I fucked him.
I'm gonna be going to the hotel.
No. Like he like randomly comes to one of our shows, or he DMs you on Instagram, and then
he's
like,
hey babe. I mean, like I told you, famously, my DMs have been blowing up.
I'm sure,
and I love that.
Mine have
please, more love to Nick.
Yeah, no, literally, DMs dry. Like actually,
but I'm really
but it's honestly for the best because I had a really rough weekend. So that was Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday.
Well, go ahead.
Oh no, what?
No, go.
Okay. And then Friday I saw Priscilla alone. I took myself out to see it. It was okay. It was fine. And gave it 3 stars.
How was Miss Jacob?
Jacob Elordi really served, honestly. Like he did a really good job. And Kaylee Spaney, who plays Priscilla, was incredible. I was just most of my issues were with
boring.
Yeah, it was with the writing of it. I was just a little bit. I could go into it, but I do think it did a good job of portraying the feeling of like someone's desire for you being so like wishy-washy, or like it's like someone's desire for you is like on like a thin line, and any wrong sudden movement can like send it like going in the opposite direction. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Sure.
I like described it. Oh, whatever. I wrote a review about it that makes more sense on my letterbox. Yeah. But anyway, so that was Friday, and then Saturday. No. Oh my God, Thursday. Oh, I forgot about Thursday at work. I'm at work and I am sitting downstairs.
Oh God.
Minding my business. It's a beautiful day. I'm just like enjoying myself. I'm having such a lovely time. Mind you, I had just had sex back to back on Tuesday.
You were having a lovely time. I was stressed out.
Sure, but right now this is my town hall, so we're talking about me.
Wow. This is your second town hall, actually.
We have multiple. We have multiple. So Are we going to time? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be quick. Okay, so then anyway, so I'm at work. I had just gotten fucked 2 nights in a row, and then I had a separate hookup Thursday morning. I sucked some dick on.
Because life knew what it was about to hand you.
Life knew it was about to hand me, and what was it? A huge slap across the fucking face. Because it's like around 10 or so o'clock that evening, and I'm at work, and I come upstairs because I go, Peru, what are you going to order for us? And
I was stressed. It was a really busy night. I was fucking running around.
And so I'm walking upstairs, and as I'm approaching the front of the restaurant, the host stand, I see a familiar face walking through the door, and it is a man in which I had matched with on Raya. I think I've talked about him on this podcast before. I matched with him on Raya. I really, really liked him, and he really made me think that there was like some sort of possible future together. We had like 2 dates / sex evenings together that were really lovely, and
which is more than what I've gotten out from Raya. From Raya, all I got was really actual networking connections.
No, truly.
but beyond that, of like,
he was the only person I had ever met up on there, and like, so, and whatever, and he was really interesting and cool, and like I felt like there was something there that we could work with, and I was really excited about it. And then randomly just kind of stopped talking to me, which is like totally fine. I get it. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. You're not that interested, whatever. And then the last time that I had talked to him, I had reached out to him via Grindr, like, because I saw him on my grid, and I was like, oh my God, look who it is. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, oh hey, and then I was like, how have you been? And then crickets, just never responded. And so I was like, listen, I take the hint, you're not interested, gorgeous. Walks in the front door with a girl, bisexual man, that's why I don't trust. Comes in with a girl. They might just be friends, they could be on a date, I don't know.
It didn't seem friendly.
My first thought was, oh my God, I'm gonna kill myself. I saw him, and he did not see me. He was talking to the security guard at the front door, who was explaining to them the policy of
he saw you.
No, but not at first.
Later, he literally walked by us.
No, because I saw him first, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill myself. And then the security guard tells them like, oh, you can just go up to the bar there, you can like get a seat or whatever. They turn, and he sees me. And
yes, they walked right around
and
us.
I see him see me. He like grabs the girl, and they go to the opposite end of the bar, which is as far away as they could possibly get from us. And then they can't find a seat over there, so they slowly start moving their way closer and closer back and back to like the center, which is like directly behind me in Peru. This whole time, man is pretending that he does not know who I am, did not see me. Mind you,
you're fully on talking to me, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, what is happening?
No, truly. And I grabbed Peru, and I was like, Peru, and Peru's like, what? Like, what's going on? And like, I have no idea. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm like literally gonna die right here. And then he was literally standing right behind me. We were practically touching. I think we did bump each other at one point, and then didn't say anything to me. And then they found a spot at the bar, and then while I was up there, I kept clocking him, looking at me, or like stealing glances. And then I was like, what are the fuck are you doing? Like, we can be cordial, like, sure, like maybe you think I'm like, my first initial reaction was like, oh, maybe he thinks I'm just like annoying and weird and like obsessed with him, because like I'm constantly talking about him on every social media platform known to man and being like, I'm in love with him. And so then I'm like, okay,
that will do it.
That will probably do it. But I'm like, if that's the case, you can still like, you're the one who stopped talking to me. Like, if anyone should be nervous, it should be me. Like, if anyone should be like, I don't want to see him, like, which I did, but like, you could just say hi. You could just be like, oh, hey, like, nice to see you. Like, I'm not going to, like, go crazy. Anyway, so then I leave, go downstairs, come back up with all my shit to clock out. They had moved when I was leaving, because I was like, I have to go home. I was like, I can't stay here. I was like, I have to leave, because, like, I'm going to burst into tears. And so then as I'm, like, clocking out, I see him, like, looking at me as I'm clocking out. Because I was, like, looking around the restaurant for you, because I was like, oh, where's Peru? I want to say goodbye. But then I didn't see you, because I think you must have gone downstairs or something, or you were like in the kitchen, or I don't know, like doing something, and so you weren't at the host stand. And so then but he was like staring directly in my direction, and then I was like, fuck you. And then I like clocked out, and then I cried the whole way home, because it just like made me sad, because I was like, you're a loser. Like, you're a loser.
Listen, don't let him get to you.
Well, I know, but I'm just also, I think it was a huge wake up call, because I think had I not had the in-person rejection that I had on Thursday, I probably still would have like kept thinking like, well, what if, because I kept thinking to myself like, what if we ran into each other eventually, like what would I say, what would I do?
Yeah, but now you know that.
I know that we're not speaking.
No,
which then kind of parlays into my Saturday evening, which is a little bit more kind of like serious, and like I don't know how much I'm gonna talk about it, because like I don't know, like it is like,
you don't have to.
Well, I'll talk into it a little bit, but I went to a party on Saturday for a dear friend of mine, and there was a friend there that I had not seen in a really long time, in like over a year. And the friendship has kind of fizzled out, or like has fizzled out, or it's not what it used to be. We used to be very, very close, and like this person I used to text every day, hung out with like all the time, kind of thing. And it ended as it did, and like they have really flourished and grown and really have made a life for themselves here in the city that I've really kind of only got to experience from a spectator's point of view. Like I'm not there with them to cheer them on. I'm like watching through Instagram or like Twitter or like whatever. And so I haven't seen them in like a year. Saw that they were on the guest list, so they had RSVP'd, and I was like, oh God, like I don't know if I can do that. And so then I was like, but it'll be fine. I'm an adult. Like I knew I was going to eventually run into them again because the universe has worked itself out in a way where I just knew that was going to happen. You know, we know the same people, the groups are woven kind of thing. So it was bound to happen. And so sure enough, I get to the party and one of my friends was like, you know, they're going to be there, right? Like, are you okay? It's like, everything gonna be good. Like, I'm here for you if like you need me. And I'm like, no, I'm an adult. I'm totally fine. I can like deal with it. It's all good. Sure enough, that person comes to the party, we say hi, we like catch up. It was really, honestly, for me, very bittersweet because it just like really kind of hit home that I don't know that person anymore. Like I knew a version of them, which is like from a year and a half, 2 years ago. And like there's been so much life that both of us have lived since. And it's like, oh, weird. Like I really, like you're a different person now. And it made me like really kind of sad and like nostalgic in a way. I'm very sensitive and I take things very personally. And so like, but they were doing really well. I met their friends were really lovely, and it was just like, which was really nice. And it was really nice to know that they have like a really great support system around them, and I was really proud of them. But it was also really emotionally heavy for me. And so like as soon as that, the conversation was very brief, and we didn't really talk much after that. Like the quick little kind of like, how are you? Like, oh good, like how are you? Like what are you up to? Kind of thing. It was like very like because there was so much going on at this party. There were so many people there and there was so much happening. And so roughly like 30 or 40 minutes later, I was like, I have to go home. I have to leave now. And then I like cried the whole way home, and it was sad. And it just made me realize that like, you know, like adult friendships and just like life in general, like friendships are, you know, they're not like the intimacy that you have with somebody can change. And
well, I had an instance in which like, and I realized that was the case when I used to have a friend. It was me and this other girl. It was two girls and me, and we were like kind of doing comedy together. And then eventually, like one of the girls just kind of just stopped, like kind of just like we were like kind of doing something together, and then this third person kind of just started like not responding or not being available, and then like not the best really person really, and now she's kind of like known pretty heavily on the take.
Oh, I remember you telling me.
But that just reminds me of that, because it's like sometimes like not all of the friendships are meant to like be, you know,
forever.
They don't have like longevity, you know, like a lot of people you're just only meant to like have in your life for like that amount of time. And so like you know, although while it may be sad for you to be like, oh, you know, like what could have been, or like we're no longer the people that we used to be or as close as we were, then maybe just look back on it, you know, like the good time that you had as like a cute little pocket of memory. And then
I think also it was a lot of things. I think it was like a culmination of everything, because like I really, after that kind of like fell apart and like we really kind of like stopped talking for an extended period of time, I do feel like I really grieved, like went through all the different stages of grief with it. And like I was in the period of anger. Oh, you're getting a phone call.
Oh, I am. Oh, well.
Oh, it's your mama?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, cute. Mom. No, what was I saying? I was just like, I was in the stage of anger for a really long time about the whole situation, where like the point where I was like, anytime I would see something posted or like think about that point in time, I would just like get angry with myself and like feel really guilty and be like, I don't know, I put a lot of blame for it not working out on myself. And then seeing this person on Saturday, it was like, oh, I'm not mad at you. Like that's not the thing. Like I thought I was just like mad at you as a person, and like I'm so angry because like how dare you, like all these kinds of things. And like it was like, no, it's just how life works out. Sometimes it just, you know, pulls you apart, and like you can't stay super close to someone forever, and it changed, and there's ebbs and flows, and like maybe there'll be a point in time where we get back to that level of intimacy, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So like
don't sit on it too long, you know.
No, and like I think like this weekend was good. So like I went home Saturday and like really I think processed that, and then did a lot of processing of that as well yesterday, and was very emotional.
Girl, while you were crying on the subway on Saturday, I was having another discovery, which you think some, like you're saying, some people in your life like will stay in that time of your life. If that makes any sense.
Sure.
Like some people like will be in your life and then there won't be, or like you have a moment with this one person and you don't think they're going to be coming back up on your life. Well, a person did return on my life actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Speak on it.
I just realized that our dear friend of the pod, Alex, has a new roommate, and their new roommate is somebody that I know. This is like the third time that someone that he has lived with or has had a living experience with, I've had an experience with.
Because you're a little whore.
Because I am. I don't know if you recall, and I did tell you this. But like I can't believe that was last fall. I met this bartender at this like bar in the Lower East Side through my friend
I have a
Matt.
vivid memory of you telling me the story.
And he was like, you know, at that time I was like in the mood for like an alternative kind of like rocky kind of guy. Like he had tattoos everywhere and like piercings, and he was like,
was his dick pierced?
Tall. He had a Prince Albert, which is a big part of like because when it was all those things like you said, like with the deal daddy that you meet and like you see each other and the connections there already.
Oh, and you're ready
so, like,
to go.
You just knew like you're literally undressing yourselves like just you know through your clothes. You're just like I just want it.
Yeah.
And so we kind of had that connection. We changed numbers, and then, you know, long story short, we ended up meeting, and then went on a date, and then the second time that we met up, it was on a Monday. I remember that because it was like after like a shift that I had at you know, this work I was doing, and then I was there with my friend Casey, my friend Heidi, and then went to his bar, got free drinks, you know, because he's the bartender, which is the best. When you're like, you know, the bartender, you get free drinks.
Yeah.
And then Heidi and Casey were leaving, and then so we were like, should we go somewhere else? And then we're like, okay, let's go to the boiler room. Like it was within walking distance, so we went to the boiler room. And of course, as one does, aka as I would do, like boiler room was kind of dead. Also, R.I.P. boiler room. Oh my god.
No, apparently it's back because someone hit me up on Grindr the other day and they were like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm at work." And they're like, "Oh, would you want to grab a drink at boiler room after?"
Well, I knew that we're gonna potentially do a different location, but I don't know that they actually ended up keeping the lease.
Well, I don't know if it's at the same location, but the person
Well, let's find out next Saturday because we love to go there.
Yeah, we'll
Popular
go.
Opinions. That's the boiler room haunt.
We love.
Well, and if anyone who's listening to this knows boiler room, the super dive bar in the Lower East Side or East Village, where
she's seen some shit.
So that bar,
that bar has seen me at some pretty low points.
Yeah, iconic gay bar for sure, but it's been there for a while and it smells and it shows. Like the vodka sodas are $4, and you know the whole floor is.
They're more than $4.
It's like $6.
Yeah, it's like $6,
which is still
$6,
dirt cheap.
Oh, 100%.
And that's not even happy hour. Happy hour is for sure like I think $4. Anyway, they had like the 188 restroom, which is not the disgusting restroom that like has no lock and like the urinal's just a suggestion. It's really
that's
just a hole in the wall.
No, that bathroom is scary.
Oh yeah, the bathroom is bathrooming, but then there's like the ADA accessible one that does lock, and so I was like, I'm feeling kind of randy, like, so we ended up fucking in the boiler room bathroom. It was so hot. It was actually, you know, one of out of the year 2022 top 10 sex of that year for sure. Until so I know that I had just recently gotten my routine STI testing, and during this period I was actually kind of potentially trying to engage in like dating this person, so I wasn't like fucking around that much during that month or whatever and a half. Something told me I needed to get tested. I just got inkling. This man fully gave me all 3 STIs. I got chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis.
The only 3 STIs in known existence.
Those
are the only ones.
Let me tell you, and if anyone who's listening to this who's had syphilis before, I had already had the other 2.
No, literally 3 strikes are out.
It was like, girl,
take the hit.
I take the hit. One of it is just 7 days pills, great. Another one, shot in the arm, perfect. You know, I had already gotten that experience before. Up until this point, I'd only had an STI twice before, so it's not like I had them frequently. So then, when the doctor was just like, "Hey, you've got all 3," I was like, "Okay, slay.
Congratulations!"
I was like, "Yes,
it's triplets."
So I was like, okay, cool, fierce, you know. So I was like, okay, let's take care of it, you know. Like I had to work that night. I was like, all right,
you're like fierce.
I was like, come on, get the shot, give me the pills. So and she was like, do you want to do them all today? And I was like, yeah, why not? I was like, it's just a shot, right? mama girl, you get the gonorrhea pills, you get the chlamydia shot or whatever, and then she was like, okay, so now we're gonna do the syphilis shot, and I was like, okay, cool, and it's a butt shot, it goes in your butt, and no one had warned me that it was gonna be painful. I had no idea,
because it's a big needle.
It's just the amount of penicillin that's being injected in you is literally a shit ton, and so it's just not only from the needle going into your butt, but it's just like the amount of penicillin they're shoving into your ass. You can feel it. So it becomes like, I was just literally standing there just thinking it was going to be a quick, like a pump and dump style, like, all right, needle me up, me. And then needle goes in, and I literally had to like ball up my shirt and bite my fucking knuckle because it was painful.
Oh my god.
Nick, for anyone who's watching this, I left that fucking doctor's office, and going down the subway steps, I was going down the steps like this. I was like, I could
She's
not
walking like an elderly woman. For those who are listening, she's holding her back. Her knees are wobbling. She can't really make it.
I was holding onto the rails. I couldn't do anything. Like all these youths kept running past me to catch the train while I was like, going down the steps one by one. Yeah, everyone was like jumping through me. Like all the breakdancers are just like hopping, free willy style, just going over me because I'm so slow. And I knew it had to have been from him because I just gotten tested a couple months before that, and he was the only person I had sex after that. So it was absolutely him who gave me all of them. I was so pissed that while you're supposed to contact your sexual partner when you test positive for something to let them know that I did not talk to him ever again. I was so pissed.
That's on you.
I guess
you should have told him.
But the thing is, like, he probably knew his fucking ass had been running around town.
Sometimes they don't know, though.
I guess they don't, but like,
because a lot of people claim to get tested, and a lot of people don't, or like they get tested like months and months and months and months. Oh yeah,
on Grindr, it says last tested. That's just a
suggestion.
And I update mine religiously. But some of these posts is like November 2021.
No, and I'm like,
couldn't you at least just lie?
Or just not even put it on there?
Put it on there.
Or so I'm like, I'm sorry. Either one, have you not had sex since 2021, or which is, why haven't you had sex since 2021? But then also, I'm like, girl, just update it or just delete it. Like,
yeah. No.
Crazy. All right, go get tested. Update it.
Go do it.
Literally, every 3 months.
Everyone,
at the very least.
Yes, all of our townspeople listening, if you're age demographic, 18.
Please get tested.
It's not a big deal. And also, don't be scared, because if you have one of the STIs, they're treatable. It's going to be okay.
Yeah,
it happens to everyone.
One of my biggest scares happened my sophomore year of college. I had convinced myself that I had contracted HIV. I had sex with this older man. He wore a condom. But afterwards, I got really, really sick, and it wasn't the flu, but it was like so sick to the point where like I literally couldn't stand up. Like my roommates had to carry me. 3 women had to carry me.
3 women.
Wow. 3. No, but like 3, like 5'2", 5'3", like women had to carry me across the street to the City MD across from our dorm because I literally could not keep myself upright. I was so ill, and obviously I googled what my symptoms were, and of course one of the first things that popped up is HIV. And I was like, no. And so then immediately I was like, up until that point, I like really hadn't been tested before. I think I'd been tested maybe once before, like before I got to college, and obviously like I hadn't had sex before that point, like really, so like it wasn't scary. It wasn't scary. So I was so terrified. So I booked an appointment with the student health center because it wasn't the flu, it wasn't mono, it was like everything they were testing me for, it was all coming back negative. They're like, it must just be some virus. And then I was like, no, it's HIV. I was too scared to say anything. Book a student health appointment to get tested. The only availability was a week later. So for the whole week, I had convinced myself that I had HIV. I was going to have to tell my parents. I was sobbing. It was like this whole ordeal where I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, and mind you, if you have HIV, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. You can live a beautiful, happily, healthy life. Like literally undetectable.
Yeah, so you equals you.
Yeah, so there's no shame in that. Anyway, but at the time, because I had such a limited view.
It's just, from like unexperience and, like
inexperience. I came from a small town in the Midwest. Everything that I had heard about it had always been from this like really stigma severe, whatever, reaction to it and whatnot. And so I was just really scared. And sure enough, I go get tested. The nurse takes my blood pressure, and my heart is beating so fucking fast. And she's like, are you nervous? And I was like, Yeah. And she was like, do you have a reason to be? And I was like,
not the right nurse.
No, and I know.
hate that nurse.
And she's like, why, do you have like a reason to be? And I was like, I don't know. I really don't know. And then I got my test results back like 3 days later and they were all clear. And I was like, thank God I'm starting prep. And then I did. And I've been on prep ever since.
And listen, coming from somebody like me, like my first few years in New York, I was so scared. I was sleeping around. I mean, nothing has changed.
Nothing.
But I was so scared of just getting tested. Like my first few years in New York, I did not get tested at all. And then I remember, talking to a friend. My friend was just like, Peru's like such, and I was like, not a big deal at all.
No.
Like, so once you get over the hump, if you have never gotten tested and you're scared or whatever, just go do it. Honestly, if you have a good friend that you can rely on to come with you or to just hang out with you right after, just to shake off the nerves.
Yeah, it's very quick. It goes by very quickly. It's like a very quick appointment.
And also, like, even financially speaking, every like major city, well, depending on where you live, it may be a little bit harder to find something that's accessible. But like, I get my testing done every 3 months for free, and anything that I've ever paid for has never been more than $15 for like medicine. So like,
if
this is something you should do for sure.
Student health centers usually offer free STI screenings and things.
Yeah, I informed Nick on some actually.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. I was your health maven there for a second. You were overpaying, some would say, for the.
Well, now I don't pay at all. Now
Now use the city's resources, because you know what? We're all taxpayers and all the fucking city funded freaking. Let's fucking use the system, bitch.
Yeah.
Go get your free testing. Go get your free medicine.
Right, and also it's just helpful because then that way, first of all, you will have peace of mind. That way, you'll feel more confident and comfortable when having sex with other people.
Girl, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm so clean. I'm ready. I'm
prep. But also, like you have to think about, when you're having sex, it's not just you that you're having sex with. Like you're having sex with another person, so like you're also involving them. So you want to make sure that you are not just taking care of yourself, but that you're also being considerate and caring of the other person. Yeah, the best
representation of yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, this person was not. I mean, I guess it was also on me to not having reached back out to him, but I was so upset because I knew that it was him. It knew it was him. So
what if it was like the Immaculate Conception?
Maybe Jesus gave me an STI, and that's the title of the app.
Jesus gave me an STI.
It's ASSana, whatever. That was funny.
That one. I'll figure out how to do that.
How to spell that one? Yeah, that was funny. But anyway, so long story short, because we have to wrap up. Cut to now, like I saw him every like 4 months or so at a different bar, which was also kind of sus when you see that one person just have completely different jobs all the time. So I
don't think that's us for me, but like some people just like a switch up.
Yeah, but it depends on the person. Like, there's always that one person that always has a new job, and I'm like, why do you always have a new job? It's kind of suspicious. It's not.
Actually, there is somebody that I know that always can't keep a job.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's not good. So like I kept seeing him at different bars, and I was like, oh hey, you work here now? He's like, yeah. So I saw him at $3 bill. I saw him at this, and I was like, wow, you just can't keep a job. And he always was complaining about the job, which is also like sus. It's like, okay, like something's going on. If you always complain, maybe the problem is you. You know,
anyway. Capitalist mindset drag him.
I love that. Anyway, so
anyway,
now I had reached out to him like fairly recently, like 3 months ago, because I felt like there was like I was holding on to something, and I was like, you know what, I'm just
gonna release it.
And again, like just like you,
like me, over the weekend,
we were having, like just revelations, and so I had reached out and I was like, hey, how have you been? And he was like, hey, what's up? Because I had seen him. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say where he currently works because
obviously you don't want to dox.
But I mean, he works at another gay establishment, and I had seen him there with you. Remember?
Wait, which establishment?
We were sitting.
Oh,
remember we were sitting in the corner, and then this guy came up to us.
I don't remember.
With the longer hair and the tattoos and the cut up vest.
I honestly don't remember actually, but I'm sure it happened.
Anyway,
sure it did.
Yes, yeah. And so he was being kind of like, not weird, but he was just like, oh hey, like he saw me and like didn't say hi once, and then he walked by again. He was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, hey. So I was trying not to be weird, and so I had reached back out to him after seeing him there, because I was like, hey, listen, I know we haven't spoken, in almost a year or whatever, but I just want to let you know, I was mad at you back then. I stopped responding to your text because I was mad at this, because I know that like I got gotten and then he fully denied it. And then the way that he said it was also not cool, because he was like, no, he was like, chlamydia and gonorrhea, sure, but not syphilis. And I was like, wait, so like you knew that you had a potential to have other 2 STIs, but not the other? Like, what makes you so certain then that it wasn't one or the other? Like, his response was really shifty, and I was like, okay, listen, I'm not trying to get into an argument with you. I'm just saying that's why I got pissed. And he was like, well, thank you for reaching out. I don't think it was me, and she was fully denying it. And I was like, well, it really, who could have been? Jesus? Like, there really was no other person.
Truly, you're Mary, and the baby Jesus is a syphilis.
Yeah,
it's a syphilis. Jesus is syphilis.
Jesus is syphilis. Jesus is syphilis. And so, and so now, Miss Alex, who was looking for a roommate very, very recently, ends up being like, hey guys, I got a new roommate. Hang out with him. End up realizing it's this person who he lives with.
The bartender.
With
the Prince Albert.
And then I go to, like, we had like a girls' night in, like board night, whatever, on Saturday while you were crying on the train.
Right, of course. Sobbing my eyes out.
Sobbing your eyes out. I was in Astoria with the dolls. And then he tells me that he's like, girl, like such and such knows everything about you. So funny. And I was like, what is he talking about? And he goes, yeah, he told me all about how you think you gave him, he gave you like all the STIs. And I was like, wow.
He's spilling your tea.
And I was like, listen, this is my side of the story, and it's the correct side of the story. And like, believe brown voices, okay? Don't believe that white bitch. Believe me, I am right.
Wow. And so we should just believe you because?
Yeah, because I'm brown.
Wow.
Brown, queer, and immigrant. The three. Exactly. And with that, I guess
you can totally be lying.
I'll keep you guys updated to see if I see him more frequently, because I know that we're gonna be going to that bar now.
And he lives with your good sis.
He lives with a sis. So I guess thanks, Alex, again. The first time it was a person who like now lives in my building and is potentially stalking me, and that also used to be a former roommate. And so now let's see what the developments is in this. Well, this episode is full of just information that we may or may not want to share, but you know what? We're rolling with it.
I know we got kind of like I got very personal.
You got really personal, and then there's gonna be cuts and edits in this episode, I guess. But whatever.
I'm literally just cutting one part.
Yeah, the one that makes you feel ashamed of yourself. Yeah. What's your pioneer and trailblazer?
Oh, that's a really, 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 really good question. What is my? What do you have one?
I guess my pioneer. Today I'm gonna keep it simple. Today is the person who delivered the Chinese food I ordered today, because I was struggling. Thank you for that. And like some of the now when you do like Uber Eats or something, like they ask you to give them a PIN. Has that happened to you when you order food and they're like, hey,
I don't order.
Type in. Wow.
I can't afford it. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, poor people think. So yours are so rich, spending $300 plus on a tab at a restaurant.
Listen, it's an unusual thing, and like any of the nice things I have, I've gotten gifted. Okay, right. Like that Celine sweater I just got gifted from one of our fucking guests.
I'm really jealous.
I'm so excited for all the season, all the gifts I'm gonna get.
Does it look cute on you?
It's so cute.
Fuck, I wanted to look ugly.
Nope.
So then I could take it. My trailblazer is going to be Jacob Elordi and Priscilla. He was really kind of sexy in that.
Also, who loves Kylie Minogue, and also said on the Jimmy Fallon show that his first crush was Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
and then Miss Jimmy was just like, oh, Brad Pitt. And
I've grown very fond of Mr. Elordi. Like I love that he's like kind of like a little like it girl with his little bags. Like,
well, I love that he's incredibly hot.
Well, he's incredibly.
I love that.
He's incredibly hot. I think he's very talented. Mm-hmm. And I also think he is kind of like a style icon for like a generation of men who I think need some sort of style inspiration.
I think I'm going to say no to that one for sure.
You don't like his little like cunty purses?
I think he's dressed well, but I don't think he's like I think if anyone right now is like really defying like I don't know like style expectations is Bad Bunny. He's doing a really good job at just like crossing the genre between like fashion and also like degendering fashion,
sure,
and doing steps towards like the community.
But I feel like but he's doing it in a way that's like a little bit more kind of like showy versus like I feel like Jacob Elordi is a little bit more kind of just like everyday wear, if that makes sense. Like Bad Bunny does a lot of like red carpety kinds of like looks, like even like when you know what I mean, versus like Jacob Elordi is just kind of like wearing like jeans and then like popping on a cute little Bottega Veneta bag, which I think more straight men should do.
Well, see, no, we're gonna get into, and we can't because we really have to wrap up. But like, we don't want to get into an argument about like, okay, like yeah, he's doing a cute look, but he's just like another generic white guy like Harry Styles. Just like, okay, here he is wearing a skirt.
Well, no, but like there's a matter of taste. Like Harry Styles, I think lacks taste when it comes to clothing because like or whoever his stylist.
I don't know. I think if anything. I don't, you know what, we can't get into this.
We can't really get into this. This is a conversation for a different time.
We'll pick this back up.
I will say,
like how he's being, yes.
Also, and this is my pioneer, actually, so why don't you shut the hell up?
Oh my God.
Shut the hell up and let me finish. No, I just think Jacob Elordi has
I have a really important meeting with all the people that made you cry today.
Wow.
I'm meeting with them.
Okay, well, guess what? You should all kill yourselves. No, don't do that. But
please don't kill yourself.
No, please live. No, but what I'm saying is,
we're insane.
No, what I'm saying is, Jacob Lordy. I
like his style.
I like his style. I think he has really good taste, especially with the bags that he chooses. If I had money, I would also have those same bags, and I think also because like we dress similar, so that's why I'm like, there's like
you see yourself in it.
I see myself in Jacob Lordy, which he.
He's like,
he's like, actually, could you keep my name out of your mouth, please?
Yes, he's like, actually, I got cut him.
Actually,
we're gonna bleep him.
He's like, actually, can we get like a copyright strike on the audio? They're like, actually, no, you mentioned Jacob Lordy and Priscilla. We got to take it down. Actually, you're not allowed to talk about it. So anyway, that's my Trailblazer.
Well, that's that. If you're looking for something to do right after this, how about drop a comment or review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
If you don't follow us already, and you just choose to listen to us, why don't you hit that follow button so it looks better for people?
Those metrics help.
Those metrics, because we're trying to bust out.
We're trying to get you. We're trying to see you in different places. We're trying to come to your town.
And come in me.
Yay. And then come to my show if you're listening to this Saturday, November 18th, Unpopular Opinions at Caveat. It's going to be a really special show, and tickets are almost gone.
Yeah.
So I'll be there. And come say hi to us.
Yeah, come say hi. You can follow us at Pioneers and Trailblazers on Instagram, Pioneers and Trailblazers on YouTube if you're a visual learner. Feel free to like and comment on there as well, or hit subscribe. You can follow me at ClownfaceBinch on Twitter. No, TikTok is ClownfaceBinch. Twitter is ClownfaceBitch, and then Instagram is Nicholas.Rose.
I'm at Hey Peru on everything except X because I don't use it.
Okay, bye.
Bye.